front office changes in Toronto, but are they the right personnel for the job? The eagle flapping its wings. You would think we're on drugs, but we're actually not. This is just how our brains operate. So
we're living proof that you can still have fun while being sober.
Correct. And it's also not like 10:30 in the morning.
Right.
You know? So we're not out here trying to get crazy that early in the morning on a Monday, no less.
Nope.
But on that, hello everyone, welcome back to the Weekend Whistle. I'm Chris, that's Maul. We have officially wrapped up at round one of the playoffs because we're always waiting on Montreal, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
That's what it feels like at this point. They had a great series, only series to go 7 games, which is actually kind of shocking. But we will get more into our thoughts on the playoffs in a bit. But Maul pal, this one affects your team. So the Toronto Maple Leafs have hired Hall of Famer Matt Sundin as their senior executive advisor and senior executive advisor and senior advisor of hockey operations.
I think so.
I think. And they have hired John Chayka as general manager for the team. This all happened yesterday. Matt Sundin obviously played 13 seasons with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't feel like I need to tell you the career of Matt Sundin.
Legend. He
yes.
Has records that will probably never be broken.
Yeah. I mean, 1,350 career points. I don't feel like I don't really need to tell you. His career speaks for itself. John Chayka, however, yes. John Chayka, however, has a very interesting career in the NHL. In 2016, he was hired as the youngest GM in the history of the NHL at 26 for the Arizona Coyotes, where he spent 4 seasons. He abruptly resigned in 2020, one day before the playoffs. 2021, he was suspended for the league, or suspended from working in the league for almost the rest of the 2021 for the rest of the 2021 calendar year. It was he breached his obligation to the club by pursuing other opportunities with other clubs while still under contract with the Coyotes, and he also was part of the private scouting combines hosted by the team for draft prospects, which is not allowed in the NHL. The Coyotes did end up having to forfeit their second round pick in 2020 and their first round pick in 2021. He has since not worked in the NHL.
Look, all I'm saying is the fact that the Leafs have restructured the whole entire upper management of the organization, minus one of the most important positions that probably should have been changed based on how the end of the season or the season in general went. I'm not feeling confident about John being hired. Now, Matt Sundin, 100%. I think that's a great...
I feel like the one question no one has here is them hiring Matt Sundin.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on in Toronto. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about it before we started recording today, that maybe it's a wake-up call that they need, where they need to not make the playoffs for a few seasons to get lower round picks. Have a couple of bad years in a row where you can be bottom of the barrel and you can start picking up new, fresh, young, top-of-the-line talent. And essentially, I feel that the Leafs need to go into a rebuild.
It's a wake-up call, is what this is.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? You're not as good as you fucking thought you were. You showed that this
congratulations.
season.
You make it to the playoffs for 9 years in a row, but you didn't do anything with it, so...
You made the fucking second round one time. My question here is on Chayka. yes, they did make the playoffs. In that 4-year span, they posted 131 wins, 147 losses, and 38 overtime losses in the 4 seasons of him being there.
I do want to know
Um,
what his qualifications are, because how at 26 years old do you become a general manager?
uh, he was part of the analytics company, Stathletes, and completed his education at the University of Western Ontario's Ivy Business School. So yeah,
I
I
still feel
do
like
have
that's hella young. Like,
questions.
your brain just barely developed.
Yeah, and you're gonna try to run a hockey team?
Right.
That does seem questionable.
Yeah. I do. I mean, good for him, because it seems like if he's a Ontario native, he gets to go home. So this is kind of exciting. You know, he's gonna be kind of in his own backyard. So hopefully that's a good thing for him. Um, I don't really have a lot of opinions on him, other than we'll see how next season goes, especially with the draft coming up soon.
Yeah, I mean, bro, he's a couple years older than us.
Right.
Like, I I don't know. I feel like, first off, if you're just gonna up and fucking quit your team and do some shady ass shit like, oh, we're gonna look for other opportunities while we're still under contract. That's just shit business practice.
Right.
You're contracted to be there.
So it's
Do
like
it
he knew
after
what was
that's
going
over.
on.
Oh yeah,
He knew what
he
was going on.
this was not a surprise to him.
Right. Speaking of the 2026-2027 NHL draft, it will be taking place in Buffalo, New York at the Keystone Center on
Key
Friday,
Key
June
Bank
26th and Saturday, June 27th.
Key Bank Center.
That's what I said, right?
You said Keystone.
Oh, KeyBank, whatever.
Key
KeyBank.
Bank. The bank.
Now I am curious on how this is going to play out, though, because if Buffalo does make it all the way to
They'll be the last pick in the
the
draft, likely.
well, no, if they make it all the way to the friggin'
Stanley Cup
Stanley Cup
Finals.
Finals and the games get dragged out, like, because hypothetically, if the next like 2 rounds go to Game 7 both, we're gonna be deep within to June before we're even starting the playoffs. Like, there is a chance that they might have to figure out a new place to hold the draft
I mean,
if the cup's going on and Buffalo's playing.
yeah. I mean, I don't think we'll get to that far. I don't think the season's ever gone into July like that. Um,
Wasn't it close last year?
I think it might have been close last year. But I don't think we've ever officially gone into because of lengthy like that. Um, the NHL is really good about kind of condensing everything. But I mean, I just, dude, I have so many questions here. I have so many questions. Why was he the choice?
Right. Honestly, seriously.
Because there are plenty of people who are absolutely able to do that job, right? Um, does this go back to a
Um,
situation?
Sorry, I just did the research. In Game 7 of the 2024 Stanley Cup went to June 24th.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, I
You're
mean, that was literally like
pretty damn
2 days
close.
before.
20,
Yeah. So,
2011 was pretty close too. Because that
2011
was,
was June 15th.
yeah, that was like getting close to
So,
literally my last day of high school.
yeah. So, 2024 Florida Panthers versus Edmonton Oilers went till June 24th, and the Panthers ended up winning. That was the latest game played in the season.
Yeah.
So, making it the longest season in the NHL.
So we've never gotten to July,
No,
but
the
we've gotten damn close.
the draft is is June 26th.
Oh yeah, that is pretty
Yeah.
close. That is
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah. So I mean, can you imagine they had to like, hey, sorry you guys are all buying your tickets and shit to the draft, but we have to move it to the abandoned lot down the street.
Yeah. We're gonna use the football field.
Maybe you shouldn't plan to host the draft in a city that's in the playoffs going forward.
All of that shit is decided well before the season even starts.
Right, but like I mean, why do you have to have it planned so far ahead of time? Like where you're hosting it?
Because it's a better marketing thing. You can actually market it better for cities, get more people in, have it planned a little better. There's a lot of logistical aspects to doing that. It's like
I
hosting
think
like
2 months
the
is plenty of
fucking Pro
time.
Bowl.
I
Not
mean, you
with
know what though?
all the moving parts. You definitely need a lot more than 2 months.
But you know what though? You could even, I mean, you pretty much know who's going to the Stanley Cups. You have a good idea in like friggin' March, you know. Even February, you have a pretty good idea of who to avoid. So it's like they could have been like, "Hey, we're gonna host it in San Jose."
Yeah, but again, it's too close. You can't
Or
make something like that happen in 2 months. There's a lot of
or
moving parts.
here's an idea: spit in the face of Arizona, host the drafts in Arizona.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. They're gonna
We
fly
took
all the
your
way out
team,
to
but
the
we're gonna draft our
desert.
players there, fuckers.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, your franchise just made the playoffs in their second season. Yeah, that shit's wild. Um, do you think that focusing on the positive here? Do you think Matt Sundin as a member of front office is a good thing for your franchise?
Yes, wholeheartedly. I think that having members of the executive team, you know, the leadership of a team, it is important to have players because they were boots on the ground. They understand what is said behind the doors when the executives and coaches aren't around. They know the frustrations, they've experienced the frustrations, they know more realistically how the players think. Like nothing against John Chayka, right? But has he ever even touched ice as a with skates?
It doesn't seem like it.
So you can't tell me that he understands the sport fully. Like there is a complete difference from someone who analyzes a sport who's never played the sport versus someone who analyzes a sport who did play the sport. That's why you see people like PK Subban and shit, I'm having a brain fart right now. Just
Just
that's why you see like PK Subban, Shaquille O'Neal, like Tom Brady. You see a lot of prominent athletes become commentators because they give that aspect of it that people who have never played the sport professionally can't and won't be
right.
ever be able to. You know, they have a different perspective that is valuable to the team. Like, you know, Matt Sedin may be able to go in there and be like, yo, your goalies suck. You guys relied way too much on Marner and his partnership with Matthews and the relationship that they had built. And without that, you guys have completely become a seeming pile of shit and you've fallen apart.
Yeah.
You know?
I bro, just looking through social media and stuff, people are just like why? You know, Matt, I agree. And Matt Sundin being who Matt Sundin was in the league can only benefit your team from from like a player standpoint. Um I mean, and again, it's not like he retired in like 94. He retired in 2009. Granted,
Right.
yes, that isn't that long ago. Like that's not like recent, but it's not exactly like, you
Like
know,
2 generations ago. Right.
yeah, I mean it's almost 20 years, but still. Like, you know, he's played the more modern version of the game. Uh
Yeah.
and if I'm someone like Matt Sundin, I am able to identify strengths and weaknesses. I'm able to identify potential
Yeah.
cracks in the in the armor where things need to be moved. And I think I think having that voice in Chayka's ear is going to be beneficial because it's it's a situation where we don't know where this fucking guy came from before 2016.
Right. So it's like what gives you the ability to be a general manager other than you graduated from like a business college?
And where has he been since 2021?
Right. Now,
What has he been doing?
I think that we are going to get a true taste of how the dynamic of the leadership of the Maple Leafs is going to play out next season at the 2026-2027 drafts when we see who they pick and what they do to restructure the team, because the team right now is in dire need of a lot of stuff to correct. Number one, we need reliable goalies.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happened to Stoli, but he missed almost over half the season this year.
He had a rough year.
Joseph Wall stepped up, but he had a lot of injuries and absences. And then we pulled the goalie from the Marlies, Dennis Hildeby, and he was a shining star, and they're trying to get rid of him. And I'm like, even without Hildeby, the Marlies still made it to the AHL playoffs. They're in the playoffs right now.
They're at least in.
So I think a big thing that they need to work on is goalies. I mean, I know we just paid an arm and a leg for Stoli, but it's like, be worth it. You
Literally.
missed over half the season, dude. Like, I get shit happens, but like, look at friggin' Linus Olmark. He missed a good chunk of the season too because of mental health and what he was going through. Came back, played his heart out, played his ass off, and the team still made it to the playoffs. Granted, they got wrecked in round one, but
I also think it's unfair to compare the two because Ottawa has been all season in a way better position.
I'm just comparing them as goalies who took absences, who were able to come back and recover from it.
Yeah.
Because Olmark came back from it, took whatever it was head on, and didn't miss any more games. Stoli came back and then missed week after week after week after week after week.
I think it's fair to give him the benefit of the doubt this year. Be like, hey, you had a bad year. You were expected to be the starter. You've been the starter for, a couple years now. You know what? The whole team had a bad year. Give him a mulligan.
Yeah.
Try it again. But I can see where having a backup plan is going to be the better option here.
Oh, for sure. So they definitely need to do something with the goalies. I'd like to see a little bit with defense and then just some of offense, because I think offense is good. They just need to get the lines just need to get their shit figured out.
Your offense just needs to produce.
Yes. And a lot of that comes from the huge shift of like, Marner was essentially the OV for the Leafs, where every time that he was available, they passed him the puck to try to get a goal. People fed him the puck.
26 goals that team missed this season alone.
Yeah.
Just from his performances.
How many wins would that have been if you estimate between 3 to 4 goals a game?
Yeah.
That's the playoff spot right there.
Yeah. That's a big show.
So I think that the Leafs have a lot to do. It's going to be interesting next season with Matthews coming back from an MCL injury. I hope that the recovery for that is going really good and he's taking that serious and he comes back and there's no longevity to that injury, because we've seen from last year carrying into this year that some of the injuries that the players get carried on. I mean, look at the Tkachuk brothers. Matthew missed half the season because he had the injury from last year.
And I mean, he's 28, so he's still got youth on his side to be able to bounce back. You
Oh,
know,
for sure. And it's like, take it serious, get back, be healthy, come back, be the captain we need, bring the team back together, and hopefully we get some good draft picks and make some smart moves because the Leafs have a really good team. They just need to find their synergy. And that's the biggest thing they're missing right now is their
yeah.
rhythm.
Oh yeah, no, there's a good chance for them to have a nice bounce back season next year.
Yep.
They
And I
just
will
need
make
to,
this prediction now so you can clip this and save this for next season. I truly predict that if the Leafs make the changes that they need to and they go into preseason and they lose multiple games in a row, you will see Craig Berube fired.
Oh, you don't think he makes it out of
Yep.
wow,
I truly believe
preseason?
that because they've literally fired everyone else from the assistant coach to the executive director, that if he can't get the team to get wins and they get multiple losses in a row in preseason, he has to be next on the chopping block. I can't think if there's anyone else. I mean, the next person that they can fire is the owner of the team.
Yeah, and
There's no one else
they're
in executive management to fire.
pretty much they have done a good job of like cleaning house. So
What are they gonna, who are they going to fire next? The e-bug or the friggin' Zamboni driver? The mascot.
fire the mascot, new mascot. They're gonna bring a whole new one in.
Yeah, they're going to go to Scotiabank Arena and they're going to fire a head of catering.
Yeah, sounds about right.
That is where we're at right now with the Leafs.
Just
We're
blow
gonna
it up. Try it again. Gonna fold the
I
team, have a brand new one come in, same everything, and we'll be like, listen, we're doing a hard reset. This is a fresh everything. New
Yep,
franchise. We're
we're
trying it
revamping the
again.
menu.
Yeah. We're painting the bathrooms.
We're not
Trying
changing
it
the
again.
toilets. That's expensive, but we're gonna paint the walls.
We're gonna make it look classier.
I don't know what I don't
Well,
know what else he has to do to get fired. So
yeah. I mean, I think that's an interesting thought, and we'll see if that comes to fruition.
yes,
What was also interesting is our round 2 matchups for the NHL playoffs.
yeah,
Round 1 quickly we'll run through. The Eastern Conference, Buffalo Sabres beat the Boston Bruins in 6 games. Moving on to play the Montreal Canadiens, who wrapped up their first round last night in Game 7. The Carolina Hurricanes dog walked the Ottawa Senators, sweeping them. And the Philadelphia Flyers moved on, taking the Pittsburgh Penguins in 6 games. Round 1 for the Western Conference, the Colorado Avalanche swept the LA Kings, which I don't think anyone was shocked about.
nope.
The Minnesota Wild beat the Dallas Stars in 6, which was a very entertaining series. The Vegas Golden Knights beat the Utah Mammoth in 6 games, and the Anaheim Ducks beat the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games. Your round 2 matchups are Buffalo and Montreal, Carolina and Philly, Colorado and Minnesota, Vegas and Anaheim. What are your thoughts on the first round?
I'm genuinely not surprised. I mean, there's a couple like I thought Dallas and Minnesota was going to be a little closer, maybe push a game 7.
I expected that series to be 7.
I'm kind of disappointed in Utah because they came out guns a blazing and then kind of collapsed. I mean, they were able to. They stepped up. They had a lead going into game 3, and then they just kind of fell apart and gave up
Yeah.
3 games in a row.
But you know what? This is a young. It's a franchise with a lot of players who have never been in the playoffs before.
Yep.
This is a great experience for them because that team is good. There's a lot of promise there. So I'm more happy for Utah to be there than I am to see them lose,
Absolutely, because the experience is good for them. It's gonna get the shakes and the jitters out. And Vegas is a very solid team with a very intimidating fan base, especially when you go to T-Mobile Arena. Like that is a scary place to go as a visiting team.
Oh yeah.
They probably had all the friggin' street con artists trying to mug them on their way into the games every day. They're gonna walk in with like 40 friggin' prayer beads from the monks that are gonna beat you up, and then like you have the girls with the feather suits that punch people.
It's,
I've heard.
you want to talk about it,
It's
bud?
just what, yeah.
You still got
so
some
so there-
fucking
there's there's I mean
shit
there's
going
probably
on.
a little bit of
Yeah.
rallying from the community to help them win. Um, I'm ashamed at Edmonton. I mean, they made it to the playoffs. They lost to the Ducks. I truly believe that after that controversial overtime loss, that killed their momentum.
But
They
they
were
came
just
back
like,
and won the next game.
right, but it didn't.
They
Wait,
kicked the
did they?
shit out of the Ducks the next game.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So then there, I haven't watched any of the games. It's been busy for me, but it was too little, too late because the Ducks were on a 2-game win streak. The Oilers had a little bit of spark left, and then they just got bitch slapped by the Ducks.
Yeah, that this is not the same Oilers team.
No,
I don't
no,
know who this team is, but it is not the team we have seen the last 2 years.
right.
There is something there is something missing.
I was very excited to see both the Avs and the Canes destroy the Kings in the Sens. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I laugh because when you look at the Philly Carolina matchup, that first round, my dad's a Penguins fan. Obviously, I was bummed for him that they lost. That last game was scoreless until overtime. And he goes,
You know what though?
what?
That's a really well played game though. Like, holy
Oh, yeah.
shit, they fought hard for that.
Oh yeah, and he goes, honestly, I'm not that worried. He goes because the winner is being fed to Carolina anyway, and we saw that in the first game where Philly lost 3-0. So like,
I mean, they got destroyed. I mean, and that was 3 goals. Let me see. I think all 3 goals were in the 2 goals in the first period, 1 in the second period, and then a scoreless third period. Like, they destroyed them.
Poured it on early.
No, you're right. They absolutely poured it on early, and like they friggin', I mean, the Flyers have a lot to do because they only had 19 shots on goal, where the Canes had 23 shots on goal. So it's like they have to understand that they're going against a really hard team, probably the second hardest team to face in the bracket right now, behind Colorado.
Yeah. I was a little surprised Buffalo Boston went to 6, but that last game, I think the only reason this game went to, or the series went to 6, is because this rivalry is so intense, and these two bring out the best in each other, and we saw that, and I mean we also saw a game where Buffalo beat Boston 7-1, like
6-1.
was it 6-1?
Goal.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had a goal reversed.
But still, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with McAvoy, because he has an in-person player safety meeting.
Yeah,
For suspensions.
He'll probably get a game or two. Obviously, it doesn't matter this year, but to start the season next year, I imagine that'll be a thing. I'm impressed by Anaheim. Yes, you heard it here first. I am impressed by my own team. I think the only thing that's going to hurt them is inconsistency. We saw multiple different versions of this team show up throughout that one series. Now, they have a 3-0 record against Vegas this season, but you can't take a game off. That team that you were in game 6, you have to be that team from here on out now.
And they have to understand that Vegas is only in their spot right now because they destroy in overtime games.
Unless it's Anaheim, where we don't lose in overtime.
Right. So this is going to be an interesting matchup between the Kings of overtime wins and the Kings of overtime wins.
the Kings, and they're lucky that shootouts aren't a thing in the playoffs because we
Right.
were undefeated this season in shootouts.
So I think Vegas and Anaheim is going to be a really good game. I think that Minnesota is going to be able to give the Avs a little bit of a battle, but I don't think this is going to go to 6.
I think it
I
does
think
go to
it'll be
6.
I think it'll
I
be
think it
over in
goes to
5.
6. I think 5.
Yep.
With this is the tough one though, right? Because it's like we've been saying, it's a fucking shame that these Central Division teams have to meet right off the rip.
Yeah. Yep.
Because Colorado is just on another plane of existence.
And they're not going to stop. I think that Buffalo Montreal is going to probably be a game 7.
That goes 7, especially with Noah Dobson coming back last night.
Yep.
Adding an extra layer. Dobish has been great in net for Montreal. This is probably going to be your best matchup of the second round.
Yeah, I think it's going to go to game 7. I think that Carolina is going to beat Philly in 5.
I respect that you're giving Philly a game.
You made it to the second round. I don't want to see you get walked in the second round. I don't want to see anyone get walked in the second round because that's embarrassing.
I think they get swept. I think they get swept.
I think that they can rally one game. But I truly think that the teams going on to the conference finals you're going to see I'm going to say the Colorado versus Anaheim, and I'm going to say Montreal versus Hurricanes.
Okay, so I will agree with you on 3 of the 4.
It's not the Montreal.
I think realistically, Colorado and Anaheim, if Anaheim continues to play what they've been playing the past, like when they're winning, then I think that they have a realistic shot of just moving on to the conference finals. So I think Colorado, Anaheim, but I think Carolina and Buffalo. I think Buffalo,
huh?
I think makes the Stanley Cup finals. This team is that good. And they have years of not being good, and they are taking full advantage.
The only reason, though, I said Montreal is because they're the only Canadian team in, so they have the whole country rallying behind them.
And the one province everyone hates.
And the one, and that's what I was about to say. In the one province that everyone hates, and one of the biggest teams that is hated, like you don't get more disrespect unless you are a Habs fan in Canada.
Yeah,
that's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially as a Leaf fan, like fuck the Habs. But they're the only Canadian team in. So now it's become they're not just playing for their community, they're now playing for their country. Because they understand the gravity of this is what?
It's, I said the team is nasty. It's not like they're
no,
not
absolutely.
good.
Well,
they're
and I think that
very good team.
They're gonna have the gravity of like, okay, shit, we're the only one that can bring the cup back to Canada. Like, we're tired of listening to the Americans say that they're better at hockey than us. Let's shut them up. This is our year.
And it's there are the last Canadian team to win one.
Yes.
It has been 33 years.
I do think that the only 2 teams, in my opinion, that can give the Avs a run for their money are Carolina and whoever wins round 2 of the other one, because I think Buffalo and the Canadians can give the Avs a run for their money.
I want to sound like that delusional fan where I think Anaheim can make it happen. I mean, they did beat Colorado in the season. They also got shithoused by them this season.
Yeah.
So I think it's Colorado's year, man. I think Colorado Buffalo. That's my pick for the Stanley Cup Finals. In Colorado Buffalo, again, nothing against Carolina, but Buffalo's on one.
Oh, they absolutely are. They absolutely are. I mean, it's going to be a great round 2. again, I feel bad for Philadelphia. I feel bad for the Wild, and those are the two teams that I really feel bad for because they're going against absolute powerhouses who
Yeah.
we will find out. I think game 2 is tonight. No, tomorrow for the Avs, and
Yeah. The
tonight for
series,
the Flyers. So
because
we
it's
may
yeah,
see.
Carolina and Philly and Anaheim and Vegas is tonight.
Yeah. So great games tonight. Recommend go watching them because
Yeah.
blackouts are ended during the Stanley Cup, which is awesome.
Yeah, nationally televised
Um,
games, so you're good.
yep. So
Both
you
games are on
can watch
ESPN, by the
any
way.
team you want with no restrictions. This is my favorite time of year for the NHL because you also don't have to go to 75 different fucking providers to watch games.
It's like
Um,
3.
it's 3, which is reasonable
It's like
because those three
3.
are 2 out of 3 of those are with 2 streaming platforms.
Yeah, the only
Um,
place you can't find hockey um the only place that you can find hockey besides the TNT and ESPN during the season is NHL Network. Not a lot of
right.
people have NHL Network, but at
Nope.
least with this, it's TNT, ESPN. You can watch it on HBO Max. You can watch it
Yep.
on True TV, TBS.
Disney
They're like,
Plus.
yeah, Hulu. There's
So
a lot of places, so keep your eye on it for sure.
yeah. But let us
Um,
know in the comments down below what you think and who you think is going to move to the conference finals because we're close. We're 6 games away.
yeah, we're about 2 weeks maybe.
Yep.
If all these games go that long, we're about 2 weeks away from finding out who's going to
Yep.
battle for a spot. Well, sir, I think it is time for you to round out with our favorite segment.
It's time for this week's Swiss cheese of the week, and this week we are giving it to Kirill Vejmelka of the Utah Mammoths, who in 3 games gave up 14 friggin' goals for a goals against average of 3.75. Holy shit. All 3 games were losses, by the way, that he played. He played 223 minutes and 57 seconds, which means he played all 3 of those games in their entirety. He took 99 shots on goals and saved 85 of them. He has currently a save percentage of .859. I'm heartbroken because the Mammoths didn't get to move on, but I'm also not heartbroken because this is the results that they gave us, and this explains their loss.
Yeah, I mean, here's my question though, right? Like, why, if he's played 3 of the 6 games, why are you starting him in net?
After 14 goals.
Yeah, why are you not starting Vanacek?
Yep.
Like,
I mean, look at what Vegas did. Vegas smartened up. They had Carter Hart, who gave up 9 goals in 3 games, but they were all wins that he played in. But he gave up 9 goals, but they switched him out. He didn't play the full series.
right. Um, it's like, damn, bro, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely atrocious. Yeah,
Yikes.
he is our Stanley Cup playoff Swiss cheese of the week. So
Yeah,
congratulations.
you joined the smelliest of the smell.
Yeah.
Cheesy, cheesy sadness. That is, um, you're more like Velveeta cheese.
Whoa, let's not insult
That's
liquid
how
gold.
that shit's so processed and not actual cheese.
I will put my foot down. We will not insult Velveeta cheese on the show.
He goes, there will be no goddamn slander. Oh, that's amazing. Fair enough.
Yeah. So congratulations. Yeah. You suck. It's all your fault. You were a sieve.
You were a sieve. I mean, unless it, give love to fucking Ville Huso, who gave up 1 goal.
Dude, it's just like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but Ville Huso only played 47 minutes.
Yeah, it's because he took over in the first period of game 6 or game 5 for the Ducks because Dostal let 3 in the first period.
Yeah, Dostal was having a rough week.
He's been having a rough season. Well, folks, that is all we have for you today. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on everything we talked about today. Let us know your thoughts on Dan Chayka being announced as the GM for the Leafs. We have obviously said our pieces.
Sure have.
If you
Now it's your turn. Say yours.
Yes, let us know. If you haven't, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, let you know anytime we upload. Check out our socials down below, and yeah, we still don't have an outro. So
Bye.